Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Keep It Private. Today I have a glow up video. I love making these videos and also just glowing up in life in general. I used to be pretty clapped. Just not looking my best. I think this is back in 2018. But over the years, I feel like I haven't done too bad for myself. And it's actually quite interesting comparing me back then to me now, because I literally feel like I am a completely different person internally and externally. So if you're watching this video and you feel like you're in need of a little bit of a glow up, I'm hoping that this advice might change your life a little bit. There's going to be a mixture of practical things in this video, things to just make you look and feel more sexy in general, and then also some scientific things and quite a bit of spirituality in this video because it's kind of my forte. The number one rule is confidence. And I know it's spoken about so much, but it is really, really true. And I'm going to deep dive into this one. I feel like if you don't feel confident in yourself and you think that you're ugly and also you're insecure because of how others might perceive you, the way that you carry yourself, that reflects externally, and other people do pick up on that. Like if you walk into a room and like your sleeves are down and you're hiding yourself, trying not to be seen, people are automatically going to see you as someone that should be insecure because you're giving off that message. And I'm saying that as someone that did that all the time in the past. I just did not want to be seen. I wanted to just constantly hide. And I did not realize how much of a message I was giving off to other people. Fake it till you make it really is a thing with this. Like you just need to walk into a room with your head held high and be like, yeah, I am that bitch actually, and walk into the room and own it. Because whether you are or aren't, you might as well carry yourself in a way where you believe that about yourself, you know, because if not, you're just setting yourself up for failure anyway, because other people are going to look at you and be like, yep, she's insecure. And it's not the energy that you really want to give off. But the main point I'm making about that is that it is your internal state more than anything that you need to control, because your internal state is the thing that reflects externally. There's like a little ancient hermetic law, which is called as above, so below. And this is really interesting because I kind of want to link these ideas together. So there's things in nature that like repeat, and they're fundamental kind of laws or rules, or it's just science in general, but it's funny how the patterns link together. This is further evidence of things internally reflecting externally using like a little bit of science. So if you look at the human brain and then also look at a cosmic web in the universe, they are strikingly similar. Even neuroscientists confirm this. Like if you look at the pictures, I'll put some on screen, like it's actually wild. And it's not just that. When you look at blood vessels in your body, and then you also look at trees and tree branches and even lightning strikes, they all correlate so similarly, which is interesting because it's kind of a pattern that keeps repeating. It's like also to do with a Fibonacci sequence, if you guys know about that. Things internally do reflect externally. It's kind of like as above, so below. And it's just been confirmed time and time again with like patterns that repeat all the time. So if you have a pattern in your brain with how it works of how you are viewing yourself internally and how you are viewing yourself when you walk into a room, you want to do it with confidence and you believing that internally, because it will reflect externally anyway. You know, other people in the room are going to pick up on how you feel about yourself. Confidence just does make you 10 times sexier in general. You just got to embody the feeling, you know, whatever you need to do to get there. And hopefully some more of these tips in this video will help you get there. This kind of brings me on to my next point as well, which is watch how you speak to yourself. This is so important because the way that you speak to yourself, like it can be so damaging if it's not done right. I feel like it's so important to treat yourself like a best friend. For example, I used to look in the mirror when I felt like I was so unbelievably fat, and I'd like look in the mirror and be like, ooh, you fat, ugly bitch. Like, this is disgusting. Like, what the hell is going on here? But then over time, like when I kind of changed my mindset throughout the years, I just kind of had a switch in mentality, I guess. Rather than doing that, try and change those thought patterns and be like, oh, bitch, we're getting a little chubs, aren't we? But then put your body at a nice angle and be like, my ass kind of getting fat though. We're looking kind of good down there. I don't know, feeling a bit unhealthy as well. So maybe going to the gym would help that. I'm not going today though. Fuck that. I can't be bothered. Tomorrow, maybe tomorrow. Or we could do breakfast before it and go out for like a little breakfast before gym and make a day out of it. That'd be fun. I don't know if that sounds a little bit crazy or not, but it's just the way that you talk to yourself will just dictate the experience you have of reality, and also whether it helps you progress or just gets you into a rut that you can't get out of. If you're constantly looking at yourself in the mirror being like, you fat ugly bitch, like this is disgusting, you're so ugly, like everything's going horribly, like it will go horribly, and you're also doing nothing to help yourself either. But if you look in the mirror and you start talking more positively to yourself and start like kind of seeing a bigger picture of things, it really, really does help, because then you actually make progress rather than just being stuck in the same place all the time, if you get what I mean. Something huge is that when you have these thoughts, rather than falling victim to them, like take a step outside of your thoughts and observe what you're thinking. So rather than just, like I said, being a victim to everything you think and thinking the whole world's collapsing in on you, just kind of take a step back and you can choose what thoughts you think. Like you don't have to believe every single thought that you have. Some of them you can just let them pass and be like, oh, can't be bothered with that one today, and allow better ones to come in. It doesn't happen instantly, because your brain, if you do talk badly to yourself, will have gotten into a habit of being like, oh, like seeing things very negatively and seeing things in a bad way. But over time, like if you just make little steps every day to just talk to yourself differently, it will eventually become a habit. You know, the habits take about 30 days to form, but slowly but surely, every single day, if you just change your thinking bit by bit, it'll have the most insane results ever, because thoughts do create your reality. So you just have to be so conscious about the thoughts that you are thinking about yourself. Like, thoughts create reality. As humans, we are all creators. So make sure you're creating something beautiful rather than creating hell for yourself inside your own mind. Your mind is literally like a program that has got into a habit of having certain thoughts all day, every day. But the good news is that there is such thing as reprogramming. So the thing is, you just have to alter these thoughts, take a step back from them, and just kind of pick your thoughts a little bit differently and choose which ones you absorb versus let go. And then over time, through repetition, it gets through to your subconscious brain, which literally like controls everything. And then you just start to see life better, and you just start to see yourself in a better light, and it makes progress, rather than you just allowing yourself in that rut, like I said. Also, I do genuinely believe that the thoughts you have about yourself actually physically change your appearance over time as well. The reason that I think this is because of the placebo effect. Like, the placebo effect literally proved that people who take fake medication but believe that it is real and don't know that it's fake and has nothing in it, it causes physical changes in the body due to the mind believing that it is real. If you really deep that is absolutely wild, and that just tells you everything you need to know. Like, thoughts create your reality and they change it. So just catching them thoughts and picking which ones you absorb versus let go is so important, especially when it comes down to the way you view yourself. Think of yourself as being sexy and having a fat ass, and you never know, over time, that ass be getting fatter. Gym probably helps as well, but placebo effect says, hey, could maybe cause physical changes as well in whatever way, even if it's just an outwards glow from talking to yourself in that way. Obviously, a big one on all of this is physical changes and just making those physical changes. Doing something like dyeing your hair. Like, don't be scared to dye your hair. You know, you can always dye it back if it goes wrong. What the hell? Like, it doesn't really matter that much. But physical changes are important if you are on a glow up journey, because physical changes help create a barrier from how you used to view yourself versus how you view yourself now, if you know what I mean. Like, it's a projection of just how things are changing and transforming. Just don't do what I did when I was like 18 and get a 5 milliliter Kylie Jenner lip filler, cheek filler, and jaw filler kit done at Kiss Aesthetics, because that was not the way to go. I looked like Squidward after his glow up. It was disgusting. Maybe just, you know, go to the gym or something like that. Just do something a bit more subtle. Just get your hair dyed. You know what I mean? Also, I think having jewelry is really important as well. Like, it's just a nice little thing to have if you like wearing jewelry. Like, I have my like staple pieces. Oh, I wasn't even on properly, but like I have my staple pieces that I never take off, and just like little dainty rings as well. I like a little gold aesthetic, but it's little things like seeing if silver or gold goes with your skin tone more. Like there's a whole thing on color theory, even with like what clothes you wear and stuff. Like certain colors will make your features pop, and then other colors will literally wash you out and just not compliment you whatsoever. So just learning what these colors are, even if it's down to silver versus gold jewelry, like really, really helps. Also, I take hands as quite a big thing. And I think this, for me, stems from a bit of insecurity, I guess, in a way, but trying to transform that and alchemize it. Because when I was younger, I had really, really bad eczema. Like I literally had to be wrapped up in Sudocrem, no, Diprobase, and bandages and stuff like that. And it really affected my hands. So now they're like really... like they get dry quite easily, and I have a lot of lines on my palms. I don't know if you can see it, but like I don't know why that is. I don't even know if that's part of the eczema or not, but also on the back of my hands, it's just like they're just quite wrinkly on the back of them, I guess, from having the eczema, and they do go quite dry. So I always will make sure I have my nails done, kind of thing. And also I just like wear little dainty jewelry because I'm just trying to make the best out of what I've got, kind of thing. That's the main thing with a glow up. Like you're not trying to become like an entirely different person in terms of becoming someone else or trying to be someone else, like, or copying someone or whatever. It's just working with what you already have to just make it the best that it can be, because there's always room for improvement. And if the main goal of having a glow up is to just feel more confident and more you, then you can't really go wrong with it. And you might as well start now as well. So stop procrastinating it. Even if you have little dip phases where you can't be bothered and you get yourself in a rut, like it's so fine, that happens. You just got to make sure you get yourself out of it as well. There are also like fundamentals, which is things like drinking water as well. Like these are for the physical changes as well, because water really does reflect as well, like on your appearance. Because I feel like when people are dehydrated, and even if I'm dehydrated, like it looks like dehydrated SpongeBob, if you guys know that meme. It's just so obvious, like your lips get dry, your skin goes dull, you'll break out, like there's so many different things. So water is like a huge thing. It's also a fundamental life source as well. So I guess it's pretty much a given, isn't it? I feel like with your face as well, it really is the little things. Like having your eyebrows groomed is one example. I actually need to get mine done because I haven't had them done in a while, but I'm going to get them done in a few days. I go home soon. But getting your eyebrows groomed and just making sure that they are all like neat and tidy, it makes such a huge difference. It's one of those things that seems a little bit subtle, but it actually makes a biggest difference. Like whenever I get my eyebrows waxed or threaded, the before and after, I'm like, oh my God, I was like a gorilla before and I didn't even realize. So getting your eyebrows groomed, it just creates like such a perfect template for your face. I feel like getting the right brow shape is so important as well, because I used to have like really bold brows that were like this, and it just was not the look. Like I constantly looked like so serious and like in your face with it, and it wasn't nice. Like I wanted a much more like softer appearance, because I guess it just went better with my whole aesthetic, I guess. Talk to yourself in the mirror. This is the next one. I could talk for literally hours about the concept of mirrors, like even symbolically. I guess it's kind of along with the concept I said before, as like as above, so below. It's like as within, so without as well. I talk to myself in the mirror out loud. I don't know if that's weird or not, but I do it. And I am a huge believer in this as well, because a mirror is obviously a physical representation of like a external thing. Do you know what I mean? So you can like see it reflected, and you can see yourself reflected like physically most of the time as well, or all of the time you're seeing yourself physically reflected. So if you do like have certain jewelries that you wear, or you do get your hair dyed or whatever, you'll use the mirror, look in it and be like, oh, like this is what my hair looks like after it's been dyed. Like if you do the physical changes with your glow up and stuff. But then more than that, if you look in the mirror and you talk to yourself and you're looking at yourself in the eyes and you're saying things out loud, you're having like a really concentrated conversation with yourself in a way, and that can be really, really beneficial as well. And it kind of goes back to the point that I was saying before about making sure you are wary of the way that you're talking to yourself in the mirror. So rather than looking at yourself in the mirror and be like, ooh, you're fat, ugly, and disgusting, if you look at yourself in the mirror and be like, oh, bitch, like, what we gonna do kind of thing. Or you're just like, oh, bitch, ass looking fat though, like put on a bit of weight, but this ass looking good. What I was saying before, but using a mirror for that to talk to yourself is so powerful. Also, when I was younger, what I used to do, which I actually think really helped my confidence a lot, was I used to literally at probably about 14 years old, dance naked in the mirror to Nicki Minaj, Drake and Lil Wayne. And actually it was mainly Nicki Minaj. I used to dance naked in the mirror and be like twerking and stuff like that, which is actually a bit wild. I could not wait to be older. I thought I'd be shaking so much ass in the club when I was older, and it just like didn't work out the way that I had hoped internally. Actually, it did for a while when I was younger, like when I first started going out. But now I think my prefrontal lobe is developing. That's probably what it is. But when I did that, I think it actually really, really helped, because I was like feeling myself when I was dancing in front of the mirror, like watching myself dance and all this kind of stuff. And the music that I was listening to was obviously Nicki Minaj music. And because her music is like bad bitch energy, and it's like, I don't know, just she's talking good shit about herself, you know? She's like calling herself a baddie and all this kind of stuff. And I'm there, 14 or whatever, twerking naked in the mirror, being like, I'm a baddie too. I think I was getting a bit too big for my boots at the time, but it really definitely helped my confidence. I might still dance in the mirror every now and again, like when I feel like it to this day, but I kind of live by it. I think it is so important. I mean, you don't have to like dance and twerk in front of the mirror. You don't have to go that far. You don't have to go as far as me. But even just sitting down and talking to yourself in the mirror, I'm comfortable with doing that. And I don't know if it sounds like really weird to say out loud or whatever, but like I do it, and I would recommend that other people do it as well. It's kind of like a visual diary entry for me in a way. Rather than like writing the words down in a book and like rereading them back, I would prefer to just like sit and talk to myself in the mirror and look at myself as I'm saying what I'm saying. I don't know, it just resonates with me a lot more to do it that way, but each to their own, I guess. The next main thing I would say is know yourself. I feel like this is such an important one, because for you to like really glow up and be the best version of yourself and truly like embody that, you have to also fully know yourself. And this can be a scary thing, because knowing yourself isn't always sunshines and rainbows. Like there's a dark part of yourself that you probably leave untouched and don't want to access, you know? If you guys know that really famous quote, know thyself, it sounds obvious and simple, but let me just read out the definition of it. Know thyself means engaging in profound introspection to understand one's true soul, character, limits, and subconscious motives, rather than just surface level traits. And I think this is really interesting, because it kind of goes along with the idea, or it is the idea of just like not going along with everything that you've been fed growing up, and sitting down and taking a moment to be like, what do I actually believe? Like, what do I actually want? The main thing to this is unlearning a lot that you have treated as almost Bible in your head. I feel like we are fed so much information from birth and taught like how to feel, what to believe, what to think. And like you just need to try your best to separate other people's beliefs and what you've been told to think from what you actually think and what you actually believe and what you actually want. Like we are shaped and made to believe and think a certain way so much from birth, from sources like the media, also like even our parents and like the way that they raised us, the culture that we're born into. Like so much of it, as you get older, there comes a point where it's like you kind of need to sit down and filter it all out, especially with like doing the shadow work stuff, or knowing yourself, because it's like you really got to separate what you truly believe in and what you truly want compared to what you've been told to want and taught what to believe. It's kind of like to know yourself as well. You just have to do like a Q&A with yourself and just really sit, like even in a dark room, or even do a meditation or something, and just like ask yourself questions in your brain and be like, what is it that I want out of life? What is it that I want to do? Like, how do I want to look? Like all this kind of stuff, because you can't glow up and be the best version of yourself until you've answered those questions, because there's a lot going on in your mind that you probably haven't filtered through. And it's important to confront those ideas and just kind of choose what path you're really going on. The thing is, it is hard to do that and like know yourself fully and allow yourself to follow what like you truly want in your like heart and soul. And oftentimes it's really blocked in people as well. And I completely get why, because it's like as soon as someone wants to do something different, they're automatically like penalized for it and like laughed at. If you look back at like scientists from the past and like historical figures, so many of them were laughed at by society until it actually turned out that they were right the whole time, or they became iconic in the future kind of thing. In school, I did YouTube from year 7 and literally everyone knew about it. The moment that I started high school, everyone knew that I did YouTube. And obviously at the time I was getting about 100 views a video, but I would come into school and people would talk so much shit about it, like behind my back, like in front of my face. I'd walk down the hallways and sixth formers would be like, Millie T, Millie T. I'd be like, yeah, hello. I'd literally be in class and the teacher would be playing my YouTube video on the projector and the whole class would be like laughing and sniggering and like talking about me. And I'd just be like, ugh. And honestly, this continued throughout the entirety of high school, but I never gave a single fuck because I always think people are going to hate when you do something different because they hate themselves for being average. So I was like, whatever. And fast forward to now, I have over 1 million subscribers, almost 1 million on TikTok, like 350K on Instagram. It's literally my career. And I moved out of my hometown to London to pursue it. And now my high school has me on their wall of fame. So hats off to everyone at high school that bullied me. But yeah, the main point that I wanted to make about that is that I really like kind of feel like I bit the bullet and like followed what like I felt like my soul wanted, which was like to do YouTube. I didn't know what I was doing at the time. Like it wasn't even a job or anything like that. I wasn't even making money. Might have been a bit of an attention seeker, to be honest. I actually don't know. But even when people bullied me and like talked so much shit about me in high school, I'm so grateful to my younger self for not giving a fuck and still doing it, because it worked out so beautifully in the end. And I'm like, damn, they really tried to stop me from doing that. Like, imagine if I had listened and gave a fuck about what they had to say about me, how wild that would be. Like, no, it would have ruined my like whole life that I'm experiencing now. But the thing is, things aren't always going to be so simple. Like when you do follow what you really want to do, you're going to be met with some resistance, whether it's going against like the idea or the dream that your parents have for you. If they want you to have a certain job and you want to have another, like you're going to be hit with resistance along the way, or whether it's people trying to stop you or even just physical reality, like getting in the way, like if it's like a logistical thing or whatever. But you just really have to like fight through that, because that is what separates people that make it from those that don't, the ones that like break through them hurdles versus the ones that collapse back. Okay, we're going to go a little bit deeper now, but hopefully you stay with me. So knowing yourself fully is scary because it is not all good. Like it does require shadow work, and shadow work is going into the more dark areas of your mind that you might have avoided, where like all your fears live, like your traumas like that are unprocessed might live, and just parts of yourself that you tend to reject and you just don't want to look at. And it's like that unknown thing, you know, like you're just like, oh, no, scary. Like, do not want to come face to face with that. But also, the more that you avoid it, the more it takes over your life at the same time. There's a really cool Carl Jung quote that I really like. I really love Carl Jung's teachings. He said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." And I think this is really interesting because it's the whole thing about the unconscious and the conscious mind. Like your conscious mind is obviously like what you think like all day, every day kind of thing, and what your just usual thoughts are that are at the surface. And then the unconscious is the subconscious mind that is like in the background of everything. And that's responsible for like so much stuff, even things like blinking and breathing. Like your brain's telling your body to do that, you know what I mean? But you're just not thinking about it because it's subconscious. And there's a lot piled back there in that subconscious brain, like all your past memories, everything that's happened in your life. So if there's certain things that you've put in a Pandora's box and like you're avoiding so much, like when that gets opened and it all comes out, it's like, oh, it's scary. There's so much you get hit with. But at the end, there's hope left, and it's actually a beautiful thing in the end. I feel like this shadow work is the concept of like light and dark as well, because it's like conscious, unconscious, like shadow side, like light side kind of thing. And that kind of brings me on to another layer of this, which is just like the whole concept of duality as a whole, and just being okay with that and finding the balance between them. Because like so many things, basically everything in life is a duality. Like you can't have up without down. You can't have in without out. You wouldn't really know what black is without white. Can't have good without bad. Like you need the polar opposites to find a relating medium in the middle, if that makes sense. I feel like the key to like integrating both though is just finding the balance between them. For example, that balance in the middle is almost like the concept of whether the glass is half full or half empty. And that's kind of the same question as being like, is something good, is something bad? Like, and avoiding the dark side or the light side, because if the cup was full, that'd be one side of the polarity. If it was empty, it'd be another. But the key to this would be accepting that both are true at the same time. And the key is choosing which way you look at it. Do you want to see it as a glass half full and see the more positive side of it? Or do you want to see it as half empty and see a more negative side to it? It's up to you, because it's both. So you can choose how you look at it, and that will shape and dictate your experience of reality. It's your own personal truth, and you get to choose what your own personal truth is and how you view it and how you see it. So I guess to summarize the whole shadow work thing, it's basically just bringing things to the surface that you usually avoid, accepting them and loving them, and then just letting them go. And then you just enter a state of like complete freedom where you can totally choose whatever it is that you want to do and who you want to be. Obviously, there might be certain limitations if in like a physical reality, but like once you are aligned with yourself and your purpose and what you really want and what is best for yourself, you're pretty much good to go. And it's okay to be selfish sometimes, to do what is best for you. Remember that. Within moral reason, of course, I guess. Like, just don't kill someone. That would be ideal. Another glow up life hack is to declutter your space. This one is so huge because the whole concept that I've been talking about with this video of like as within, so without, whenever I feel like shit and I feel like my whole life is falling apart and I'm in a bit of a rut and I'm just not feeling good, my apartment is always a mess and my room is a mess, and it just always automatically reflects. And it's just so annoying because it's like, it just makes everything worse, because I'm like, my mind's a mess and everything around me is also a mess. So I'm just living in mess constantly. But then the moment that I make the decision to be like, okay, I'm going to start cleaning my room, and I clean it, it's actually mad how good I feel afterwards. I'm like, oh my God, like I feel so much better. It's like when I clean up my external reality and like clean up my room and all that kind of stuff, when I take a step back and look at it, it's like my mind clears up as well, because I'm like, oh wow, that is better. So it's like my external reality affected my internal world, but then also my internal world was the one that made the decision to clean it in the first place. So it's like I cleaned up my mind a little bit, then my room cleaned up, and now I feel even more cleaned up because I'm ready to go on a walk now, and like I'm really motivated for work and all this other stuff, because it's made me feel so much better and so much more motivated. And then it's just kind of like a loop that keeps repeating in a good way, and it's like gets the ball rolling to just like do better in life and like glow up and like go to the gym or whatever it is that you want to do. Like it just gets the ball rolling. It's like a snowball effect in a good way. Unless you self-sabotage. That's where it always gets you. That's where it always gets you, when you end up self-sabotaging at some point, you know what I mean? And then it's like, oh, got to get the ball rolling again. And it's like the more the more time you spend not like getting the ball rolling again, the more hard it is to get yourself in a position where you want to get the ball rolling again. It's like going to the gym and stuff. If you haven't been in ages, like that first time going back to the gym, like that took so much mental work to get there, kind of thing. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just a lazy bitch. But yeah, just in terms of like glowing up your entire life, it is really hard to do that when your external reality is constantly screaming at you that like everything is a mess. Sometimes I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not. I don't know if it's bad to say this, but sometimes I think about people that have OCD, you know, that are like in the concept of people that are like obsessed with like cleaning up their like outer environments, making sure it's clean and sanitized and like perfect. And I'm like, that's interesting because it's almost like an extreme version of what I'm talking about. But then I'm like, that could indicate that like their mind, there's something that they're avoiding so much in their mind, or so much that is like repressed in their mind, or something that they don't want to face in their internal world, that they've become so obsessed with making their external world like unbelievably perfect, almost as a way to like avoid it. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? I'm not saying that that's right. Also don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not online, but it's just, all it is just like a little like thought I had. I was like, it's quite interesting. I've never experienced it, so obviously I have no idea, but I was just like, as a theory, like it's quite interesting, but I could be completely wrong about that. I have no idea. I just thought it was quite an interesting thought. Yeah, just having a tidy and clean space around you is absolutely fundamental for a glow up, to be honest. I think it is literally a physical representation of what's going on in your internal world. And if you want to get anywhere in this glow up process, you need to start with just cleaning up that home environment, because home is so important, you know. The final one that I want to talk about is do not care about anyone else's opinion of you. Like literally, it is so unbelievably irrelevant. This also goes back to what I was saying about how I did YouTube throughout high school and the amount of shit that people spoke about that. If I had listened to their opinions, I would not be where I am today. I would not be doing social media if I listened to everything they told me and like got insecure about it and took it as Bible. Like that would have been awful if I'd have listened to what they said and got offended and got shy and like insecure, and as a result like stopped chasing my dreams. But like it's wild because when I look back now, I'm so shocked at myself for literally not giving a single fuck. Or more than shock, it's actually quite reverent to my younger self. I'm like, wow, like I actually did not care whatsoever. And I'm so glad that I didn't. But then it just like breaks my heart when other people like care and change who they are because they want to fit more neatly into other people's expectations of who they should be. And they just want to like fit in more. Like that's such bullshit. Like don't do that, because we are all here to be individuals. Like you have something within yourself that wants to be expressed. Like you have a talent. You might even have hidden talents that you don't know about, and yeah, you got to find those things and just like show them off and find what makes you you, find what makes you different, find what makes you unique, find what resonates with your heart and with your soul, and just bite the bullet and fucking go for it in life. Like go for it. If you don't, you'll be living a lie and you'll live your life in regret. Like we are all here to be individuals. We are all creators. You create your reality. So choose what you want to create with your reality. And it can be absolutely anything, but everyone has different things that they love and different talents, and whatever it is that resonates with you and who you are the most, like go chase that. Like fuck everything else, fuck everyone else. Chase that. People will talk shit. People will have their own opinions, but just take it as information. It's just nothing more than that. And just do what you want to do. Yeah, life is too short to abide by other people's expectations of who you should be or what you should believe. Like, you are here for yourself at the end of the day within moral reasoning, because this isn't really talking too much about the moral stance of things. This is more talking about you connecting with yourself and knowing what you truly want in your heart and soul kind of thing. I would just encourage anyone to follow their dreams quite literally and just do what they really want to do in life. And obviously, with this whole glow up video, we've touched on so many different topics. Do you know what I mean? But also, it just all does kind of interlink into one. Obviously, you've got the physical aspect of glowing up, which we've spoken about, which is like getting your nails done, dyeing your hair, like whatever it might be, like drinking water, obviously, and eating healthy, etc. But more than that, like you're not going to get anywhere in a glow up in life unless like you master the foundations first of all. If your foundations are weak, but then you're like getting your hair dyed and your nails done, etc., it's just like putting glitter on shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, or I guess another analogy to that would be the foundations aren't stable because you haven't done the inner work. So putting like nails on or like dyeing your hair or whatever, that's not going to make a true difference for how you feel about yourself in your glow up, because like it's on an unstable foundation. So the whole thing just collapses, you know? The extreme version of that is like people that like go way too far with like fillers and cosmetic surgeries and stuff like that. Like they didn't work on their foundations because they're like because of insecurities and stuff like that, that they just did the most to try and like, you know what I mean, glow up and become like the perfect version of themselves. But because they didn't know exactly what that perfect version was internally, they got addicted to like externally trying to make that a reality for them, you know. But like they went way too far, because if your foundation is insecurity, like you're not going to be aligned, you're displaced. Like all these like surgeries and stuff like that, it's just going to make you look worse and feel worse as well. I say that as someone that got addicted to plastic surgery at one point. Well, not addicted. I got a 5 milliliter like Kylie face package, and I got like my cheeks injected, my jaw injected, and my lips injected. And I looked like Squidward after his glow up. I looked disgusting. But I'm not saying that like getting lip filler as a whole is like absolutely detrimental or anything. Like everything within balance. Just balance is one of the most important laws ever. You can get lip filler, you can get Botox and stuff like that. That doesn't mean you're deeply insecure or insecure automatically. It just like can be you just wanting to get an extra little tweak done, you know? But if it's built on a foundation which is secure within yourself, like you can go ahead with that kind of stuff, to be honest. But the only issue is when those surgeries and stuff are done on a insecure foundation. And that's the same as like just glowing up with life in general. Like until you do the inner work and really truly know yourself, the foundation that you build it on is going to be unstable, and it's going to be so weak. So you're not going to know what you truly want. So you're like, oh, I'll try this. Let me try that. Let me try this job. Actually, no, I don't like that job. Let me try this job. Oh, like, what do I actually want to do? And you're just shooting blanks because you don't really know. You're just trying loads of different things, but you're so displaced in yourself with what you want that you're just like, I have no idea what I actually want. So I'm trying all these different things, and you're wasting your life and so much time in the meantime. But if you just sit and think and connect with yourself and like do this like inner work in a way, like you just have such a stable foundation of who you are, how you view yourself, how you know yourself to be, what you feel and see when you look in the mirror. And then as a result of that, you can build a life that is so aligned with who you truly are on such a stable foundation as well, built from confidence and a glow, like an inner glow. So aligned with like your heart and soul kind of thing. And that will just put you on a trajectory for success in life and just living life how you want to live it, because you are the most important person in your internal world, because you're the only person, no one else living in your head. It's just you there. So you got to make sure it's a nice place to be. And as a result, you want to live in a reality that like it reflects just who you are and how you feel about yourself, and just be the best version of yourself. You deserve to live a life that you truly want to live, that is aligned with who you truly are. And you just got to fuck everyone, fuck everything, and do what you want to do in life, and just make yourself proud. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. I hope you learned something new from this. I hope it wasn't too messy. I'm sorry if you came onto this video wanting like advice on like how exactly to dye your hair or shave your legs or something like that. But I thought I wanted to maybe touch on the more important topics. But we spoke about getting our nails done and stuff, I guess. But yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this in the comment section. Please do like chat to me in the comments. I absolutely adore reading comments like so much. So yeah, I'm intrigued to see what you got to say about that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening, especially if you're still listening now. Like, you're a real one for that. Thank you guys. I will see you in my next episode. Goodbye.